It's no different than saying, hey, if you don't stop right there, I'm going to kick your ass.
Maybe they will.
And not be ready to kick their ass.
Right. Yeah.
Because if they say, oh, yeah, well, here I come, be ready.
Yeah. I've been waiting for someone to fight all day.
Yeah, I just ran out of bubble gum. Here I come.
I'm Ryan Gresham, and this is Gun Talk Nation. Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Armasight, Colt, Black Hills Ammunition, Range Ready, Military Armament Corporation, Ruger, and Loopold. Hey, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. Today on Gun Talk Nation, Chris, what handgun should I be carrying? What's the right one? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to. Well,
oh really?
We can go there if you want.
I've got a Smith & Wesson 380 Bodyguard in my pocket right now with a hog holster.
Is that like the gun you carry when you're not carrying a gun?
Exactly, and it's funny because Hannah said, "You have a gun in your pocket?" And I said, "Oh yeah, in the hog stash. You know, the one that pushes right off the holster, pushes off the gun."
The hog. Is it spelled
HAWG? Yeah. Helping Americans wear guns.
That's cool. Hog. HAWG.
And I wore it all weekend to the stores and all, and I found myself talking to neighbors and such, and I had my hands in my pockets, and I was like, I've got a gun in my hand right now.
Like, how about that?
Yeah, it's really convenient.
Pocket carry. But you got to have big pockets for that.
Well, I got my shorts, and my summer shorts have nice pockets. Slash pockets are the best.
Pro tip for pocket carry, Chris. Give us one.
Don't put anything else in your pocket because it will get convoluted. You can't even clip your knife on it, which is fine.
Yeah.
And have a holster. I mean, in a good holster. I've been loving the hog.
It has to cover the trigger.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can only have so many accidents before you start getting nervous.
Then you start. I'm not real worried about things, but eventually I learned my lesson.
Yeah. I'm like Thomas Edison. I made a lot of mistakes.
But people do come up because we're the gun guys, and they'll say, what gun should I carry? What gun should I get? And it's funny because we get to carry a lot of different stuff and shoot a lot of different stuff.
We do.
And what's funny is, for me, like, you would think I'd have like, well, here's what you need. But I find that the people who say the gun you need to carry is this are the less experienced gun people.
I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like really far out to the edge on this side and really far out to the edge on the other. It's like you either don't know enough or you're just too set in your ways. Because you have to ask yourself. Y'all have heard me say it before. Do you like it because you can make it work, or do you like it because you can get other people to make it work?
Well, if you're a trainer, can you get other people to make it work, right?
Well, when people ask you for advice because you're the gun guy, what are you technically? You're the trainer.
I guess you're the one who knows stuff.
You're like their trainer. You're their personal trainer.
I mean, my thing is this, like, it's kind of like, which guitar should I buy to go play this gig? And it's like, I don't know. Do you practice guitar? Are you good at guitar?
I like a nice 12-string.
Yeah, you need a 12-string is what you need. You need a $3,000 12-string Martin guitar.
Yes.
Well, do you play gigs? No, I'm learning how to play a G chord. Well, okay, maybe.
How about a banjo?
Let's
We're going to get you
simple.
a nice banjo.
Yeah. Maybe you should get a guitar that leaves enough room in the budget to get guitar lessons.
I like that.
But when I say that, they think I'm trying to sell them training, which I'm not. Go somewhere else. I don't give a crap. Go somewhere else. Go to Sig Sauer.
Yeah.
Go to Gunsight.
I'm going to Sig.
I don't care. Yeah, you're going up there this summer.
I'm going in August. I'm going to take all my guys up there. We're going to go get our butts trained off, hopefully beat into the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be great fun.
Humble me.
Yeah. What am I going to show you? I don't know. Test me and then teach me on what I'm weak in.
Yeah.
That's what I told them last time I was there. And they did, and it was awesome.
Yeah. You're not gonna do any force on force stuff, are you?
I doubt it because it's their handgun instructor master course. But if they did, it would be awesome.
I know they do that up there.
I love that stuff because I get so scared Force on force training is amazing, what it does for you. And even someone like me who gets to see it, be part of it, I still get amped up.
Most people never have done anything like that. Most people have shot guns more than they've actually done like some force on force training. How do you describe it to people when we talk about like, so we just launched a new season 14 of First Person Defender, which you guys know if you listen to the show, but if you haven't been paying attention, new season, we put regular people into self-defense situations.
We put ordinary people into extraordinary situations. We see how they react. Then we give them some training, a little bit, just to expand their mind. And they come back, they do it again. Not the same scenario, but very close. And they always do so much better.
Isn't that crazy? Because I guess this is a little bit behind the scenes of how we make these episodes. The training they receive, this is not like multi-days of, self-defense makeover. This is 20 or 30 minutes, maybe?
Well, there's 20 or 30 minutes, but you have to understand that when you're on FPD, you're around us all day. And some people stay for two scenarios. They stay to watch the other person and partake as, a role player or something like that. You are constantly learning when you're standing around listening to people talk about the what ifs and the when thens and all that.
Yeah, it's true. You were on season 1 as a contestant or
14
good guy
seasons ago, which should be 14
like you win
years
something.
ago.
You don't win anything. you win some knowledge. Congratulations. You just got shot. That's called a lesson.
I know, it was so cool. And I want to do it again. And I know this is taking it a little bit aside, but you guys that are watching and listening, tell me what you think about this idea.
Uh-oh. We're brainstorming now?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm going to say it in front of God and everyone because I say it in front of you guys all the time. We haven't done it yet. Do we need to take a break?
No. Well, no. Okay. Tell us.
So what I want to do is I want to do a bank of scenarios where we all just do each other. And we don't know what we're getting. I'm going to set one up for you. You're going to set one up for me. You and KJ do mine. Me and you do KJ's. Maybe we'll get Michael to do another one because I hear he's in one this season.
Yeah.
And God, it's going to be great. It's so fun. And that I think it would be fantastic because all of a sudden you go from in front of the camera to behind the camera and into the situation. And boom, you're just there.
The bad part is we know each other pretty well. So I feel like we could really screw with each other.
Yeah, it would be bad, but we would try not to because we don't do that with our people that come on the show.
Yeah, we don't try to make it unfair.
We never do. Ever do. But we do sometimes make it hard. Like Neil. What was Neil's last name again?
I
know, right?
You just caught me off guard.
Like Neil from
Active Self-Protection.
Active Self-Protection.
Neil and Stephanie.
Right. Widener.
I was going to say Widener.
Yeah, Widener. So Neil's so good and he's done so much and he still gets amped up. He was just excited to be there.
Yeah.
And Stephanie was too.
Yeah.
And Neil did such a good job. And then we made it just a little harder the next time. Unfortunately, our role players, they got a little confused as to what they were supposed to do and made it almost impossible. And man, he went on. He hard charged it. He got shot both times.
Let's do this. Let's talk about how the role players / bad guys, if they don't, sometimes they can screw up the situation for us. Sometimes not on purpose, but...
Well, the role player's number one, because we have to, when we set up a scenario, we have to contain it within view of the cameras. And if we don't, Michael will kill us. And so we try to do that. So then we're standing there and we're setting it up and KJ leans over and says, "Oh man, what if he does this?" And I'm like, "Oh geez, man, I never thought about that." And then we fix that. Mm-hmm. We're like, "Okay, we're going to put cones. We're going to put some caution tape that says you can't go outside this boundary." And then you walk in and you say, "Have you guys thought about what if he does this?" And we're like, "Oh, son of a gun."
Yeah.
Here we go again. And then we have to fix that.
It's true.
And you have to be ready for all that
because it's not scripted. We don't know what they're going to do.
And in all the time we've done this, we've only had like 2 do-overs, and it was major malfunctions with equipment.
Right.
Because we just can't have do-overs because the whole scenario is blown. I mean, you get halfway through it, and it's like something bad happens. You're like, okay, we're going to do it again. Oh, good. I know exactly what's
Yeah, I know
going
what
on.
you
I'm going
guys
to
are
do better
doing.
this time.
Yeah, I know who the bad guy is. I know where it's coming from and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And we're trying to capture it on camera. So there are parameters. You have camera guys and audio guys and all this stuff. Let's do this after the break. Let's talk about what happened this season and what you guys can expect to see. Black Hills Honey Badger ammo is a solid copper, non-deforming, non-fragmenting projectile with wide, sharp flutes, ballistic broadheads that cut through barriers that cause hollow points to fail, at least sometimes. An overall increase in depth and width of wound cavities. In that moment when you need the best to defend your family's life or your own, you'll appreciate a certain quality the Honey Badger possesses for the least complicated reason in the world. Well, it works. If you're listening to this show, you probably like guns, but how many classes have you take to make you a better shooter? And that's what we do at Range Ready Studios. Range Ready is a premium firearms training academy in Robert, Louisiana, and it's here at the Gun Talk headquarters. We've got a range out back, actually several ranges. We've got classroom, we've got a shoot house, and we've got some of the best instructors around. And I promise, when people come here, the reviews are 5-star. They love it and they improve on their shooting. You can learn more at rangereadystudios.com. And I'll tell you a trick. Sign up for the email list, because you guys that sign up for the email list are the first to hear about our new classes, and they sell out quick. Let me tell you about some of my favorite guns from Military Armament Corporation, or MAC, as many know them. The MAC 9 DS is a double-stack 1911, and in fact, they have an entire line of these double-stack 1911s. Surprisingly affordable. The MAC 5 and MAC 5K are a roller-delayed blowback 9mm pistol inspired by a firearms icon, and they take MP5 mags, if you know what I mean. See more at milarmamentcorp.com. You've probably heard about the Ruger RXM pistol. It's the result of a collaboration between Ruger and Magpul. American-made handgun, stands out with a variety of upgraded features, including direct mount optic cut slide. So you can put an RMR, Delta Point Pro, RMSC cuts with co-witness height sights. It also has their fire control insert. It's a removable stainless steel insert. That's the serialized part of the gun, which enables you to customize using Magpul enhanced grip handgun grips. And so they have different colors, different sizes. You can really customize it. It's Gen 3 compatible, so works with magazines that you may already own. And we've tested it. We shot it a lot, and we like it. You can learn more about the Ruger RXM over at Ruger.com. So first-person defender, force-on-force stuff. This season has been great. And actually, we've launched the first episode. It's out on the new YouTube channel, First Person Defender YouTube channel at First Person Defender. So go check it out. And we're carving out all that self-defense content to put it on a new YouTube channel. It's still on all the Gun Talk channels as far as Facebook, Roku, X, but on YouTube, it gets a little convoluted. So we said, let's just make a home for all of our self-defense stuff, starting with First Person Defender. So it's off to a good start, and we've got some good episodes this season.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. We're going to be filming again next week, you know.
I know.
We got it coming up again, and we were talking about what we have to do to make sure that the role players the actual good guys don't screw up the scenario by doing something we haven't planned for, so we don't have a contingency for. But do you remember when the bad guy, Taylor, came in the wrong door? I mean, clearly marked caution tape, like don't use this door. And he breaks into the house and goes right through the wrong door.
Of course, the cameras are set up for a different part of that room.
Oh my gosh, he got so shot up too because he totally surprised the good guy. The good guy thought it was just a wall.
Yeah.
Well, that opened up.
The wall became a door.
Next thing you know, it became a gunfight, and he got lit up. Our good guy did a great job. But see, we all improvise, adapt, and overcome, even in the face of stupidity, which we all have our moments.
Well, let's talk about this one we just launched with Natasha, because it was funny. We put out casting for this. So if you want to be on this show, and we're talking about it, reach out to us, info@guntalk.com, and say, I want to be on the first person offender show. I want to participate in some of those situations and get practice and get trained up. It's a lot of fun. You do learn stuff, but this was basically a cold casting of her. She says, oh yeah, I saw this. This sounds like fun. I'd like to be on the show. I just started carrying about a year ago, but I've gotten into it. And I practice and I shoot. And
she was legit.
We were very surprised at how well she did.
She came in carrying concealed on her body. A lot of women will do a lot of different things, but she was like strapped, like anybody would be strapped if they were serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had the gun, she had spare ammo, she had it all. She was concealing it. She went into the scenarios like a hard charger. She was not afraid at all.
In the first scenario, I want you guys to go watch it, but the first scenario that we gave her was hard.
Yeah.
You're coming home, and this is a very realistic, normal type of scenario that you could see in the news. You're coming home, you're walking into your house, you're turning on lights as you go into rooms, and you walk into a room and someone's there.
Yeah. I had that feeling the other day. I came home, it was Saturday night. I was out at that shindig down in Mandeville.
Oh, yeah.
Came home and I didn't turn on the lights like I normally did. And I walked into the house and I started thinking, what if somebody's waiting for me here? What are you, dumb?
Yeah, turn on the lights.
Turn on the lights. So I started turning on lights. Well, in my bedroom, I can't turn it on until I cross all the way to the bed.
Oh.
But it caused me pause.
Yeah.
Before I walked through the threshold, I thought, okay, whatever you do, don't be surprised.
Yeah.
And I made it all the way over, turned the light on, and nobody was there. But those are thoughts like nobody's coming to save you. You are your own rescue.
Especially in your house. I mean,
that's
think
where you
about
go
that.
white. You go white, almost completely white when you go in your house.
And you think about that. You come home, you don't know what's been going on at that property for the last however many hours you've been gone. And it's like, but it's my house. I'm like, yeah, it's a building that you weren't at for the last half day or whatever.
Right.
And now you're walking into it. The lights are off. It's at night. And it's like, shit. Like,
Do you guys want to hear my secret?
yeah. Oh, tell us.
I look for shadows. I listen for sounds. And I also look at things that are desirable to someone who might come into my house.
Like if it would be missing, maybe?
Moved or missing. And I look at those things. Like on top of my gun safe, I have a 22 rifle that looks really fancy, but it's just a 22. I live alone, It's out there on display and it's funny. And it has a fake suppressor on it, inert suppressor. And I look at that almost every time. And if that's there, if that's not moved, I'm pretty sure everything's fine.
Yeah.
But it's weird, you look like, is your Rolex watch still sitting where you left it? Or is the money that you leave in your little basket still there, the cash, however much it is?
I mean, would you put something in a place where the door you usually enter the house, would you put something that is like, $500 in cash where you always see it? And
yeah. My yard pistol is sitting in a basket right on the kitchen table. And it's funny because that's what as soon as I get home, I strap that on. I change out guns because I have to have my snake shot, right?
Okay.
I have my solids plus my snake shot. And I look and I see that. And it's like, if that's still there, it's not moved, probably nobody's been in my house.
Yeah.
Unless they're just coming in and laying wait to kill me. And that's fine too, because you can't guard against everything. You really can't.
No, you can't.
But I'll tell you what, don't let me know you're there because it would be a fun day. Make it a surprise or you could get hurt.
Well, you live alone and you live out in the country, so you're kind of cleared hot.
Oh yeah, it's hot out there. Everything's hot. Where I live is definitely different. It's not like most places, but those are seriously things I look at. I look, like first thing you do, you pull in your driveway, is the garage open or closed? If it's still closed, everything's great. Can you imagine coming home, your garage door's open? That causes you concern. You start moving slower, right?
Would you go in or would you just say, I'm going to call the cops or something?
I go to the garage, no problem. The house, if I found the house door open, I'd call the cops before I went in. And I'd walk around.
Isn't that funny? Because people are like, well, Chris, you were a cop and you trained and you're a good shooter and stuff. But just being smart,
I was a SWAT guy.
But let the team of guys go in there, not me.
One of the rules for SWAT is no independent action. No independent action. That means not just one person into a room. Mm-hmm. Why would I go into my house? I can go out and walk around it.
Yeah.
And if they go out one side while I'm looking at the other side, I don't care.
Right. Fine.
That's fine. But I'm going to wait. Yeah, I'm going to have help. I mean, first person offender has taught me a lot. I mean, the biggest thing we talk about all the time, it's like, unless a gun is on you, it is not close enough.
For sure.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I mean, and this goes along with, like, let's just call the cops. Like, I know a lot of people, they hate criminals. It aggravates the crap out of you, right? To think about someone burglarizing your house or breaking into your car. Violating your space. And you feel like justice needs to be served. However, if we stop and think about this, if you're not a cop, it's probably not your role or maybe just the smart move to like try to catch the bad guy. Like, this is BS. He shouldn't be in my house. He shouldn't be allowed to do this. He shouldn't get away with this.
If he comes out the door and comes at you, lucky day. Mm-hmm. But if he goes out the other side of the house and you never get to see him, well, it's his lucky day. Mm-hmm. And your lucky day too, because you have to deal with the aftermath.
Because that's the thing. I think people get quickly riled up. Like, this is my home. This is my car. This is whatever. I get it. And I've had my car broken into, guys, like 5 or 6 times. It's ridiculous. And every single time for weeks after, I would have dreams of catching someone in the act. I caught him, beat the crap out of him or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. What do you do with them when you got them?
But what do you do in your dream? But you because you want sweet justice, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but you actually don't, like, even if you came up to somebody who's in your car, stealing your CD player, if I'm sitting here in the calm of the Gun Talk Studios, probably what I ought to do is just step back, not be like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing there?" Like,
I mean, you could do that from a position of cover with a gun in your hand, but you don't got to point it at him either, and he doesn't even have to know you have a gun in your hand.
Yeah,
you can do so many things, but we learn all those things on FPD. We learn those things from watching YouTube, real life self-defense situations, all those things. We learn so much.
What do you think the biggest mistake our good guys on first-person offender make?
The biggest mistake is going too fast. The opposite of that would be going too slow.
Also bad?
Yeah. Speed too fast, squash like bugs. Speed too slow, squash like bugs. Speed just right, maybe probably going to be okay. But, it's hard. It's hard. You got to know when to slow down. You got to know when to be stealthy. You got to know when to explode with violence and surprise and violence at speed of that, speed. What is it? Speed, surprise, violence of action. Yes.
Well, yes, all of those things.
Yes.
Sometimes violence is the answer.
100% is, but you also have to be ready to commit violence. Just like when I walked in my bedroom that day, I had to stop myself and say, okay, number 1, don't be surprised. Number 2, when it happens, be ready to be violent. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, if somebody puts their hand on my shoulder as I come around a corner or says, hey, stop right there, man, you got to be ready. Because if you freeze, they might have you. If you don't freeze, they might have you.
Yeah, that's the problem. You don't know.
You gotta, boom, man. You just gotta move. You gotta be like a cat. You ever walk through the woods? I got a problem with snakes. I'm scared of 3 snakes: big snakes, little snakes, and sticks that look like snakes. Do you ever walk through? Do you ever walk through the woods and you're hunting and you're stealthy walking, and you step on this pile of leaves, and like 8 feet away, something springs out of the leaves next to you. It's the other end of the stick, right? And without even thinking, your animal brain, you are now 8 feet this way. Yeah, like you just boing, boom, and you move over, like falling out of the boat in the bayou here in Louisiana.
Yeah,
like you hit the water, and you don't even have enough force to get yourself back in the boat, but somehow the instant you get in the water, you're back out of the water.
Yeah.
Right. And that's your animal brain. I mean, you have to have that kind of action. You got to move like a cat with a firecracker under its ass.
Well, what you're talking about, though, is you're talking about forethought of saying if then.
Yeah.
If when or when
then or if then. It all makes sense. all these stupid things we say, like win. What's important now? Win. I'm going to win. I just got to think about what's important now. And I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was on vacation in Florida the other day. I was standing in the kitchen. My friend was in the bedroom, and we're going to go fishing. And I'm thinking about putting my gun in my pocket, but I also want to wear my bathing suit. But I have pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a fishing pier, right? Going to go out on the pier, just hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing there, and I say to myself, as I'm touch the gun, I pick it up, I put it back down, and I look at it, and I said, nobody's coming to save you.
Mm-hmm.
My friend in the bedroom hears me. What did you just say? Nothing. And I put the gun in my pocket.
Right.
Because honestly, last year there was a guy that got shot driving his car down one of my favorite fishing piers from all my life. I mean, Bokeelia, Florida.
Yeah.
Guy came up, drove that car down the pier, crashed through the gates.
Wow.
Was going to run people over, and somebody on that pier was armed and shot him and killed him.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's that whole challenge.
There's
of
an FPD.
carrying. We'll do a fishing pier car attack. Jeez, we're going to have to find a location for that one.
Yeah.
God.
And we have to have a big budget.
Which we don't.
You aren't kidding.
But thinking about this stuff ahead of time and challenging yourself, because it's always the game for I think for a lot of people who carry, they talk themselves out of carrying all the time. I don't feel like it. I don't have the right clothes on.
Nothing ever happens. It'll be fine.
Yeah, probably nothing's going to happen there.
Right.
Right. Let's talk about that. We'll be right back. Elevate your precision with the Leupold Mark IV HD rifle scope, featuring a professional-grade optical system for pinpoint clarity and zero-lock dials for precise, reliable adjustments. This lightweight yet rugged, reliable rifle scope is the ultimate companion for any shooter, and they have it in a variety of configurations: a 1-to-4, like variable low-power optic, all the way up to an 8 to 32 power if you want to reach out and hit stuff at really long distances. The Leupold Mark IV HD, we've been using it. We've been liking it. It's got a lot of nice features to it. It's high quality. It's something that you can depend on. You can learn more over at leupold.com. Engineered for precision, performance, and versatility, the Colt Optics Ready 1911 competition pistols are the perfect choice for competitive shooters looking to gain an edge. We're talking about 1911s in either 9mm or 45, and they're cut for optics. I mean, that's like cheating. You get a red dot on top of a Colt 1911. They're versatile. They're great with an optics plate system. Seamless experience for those who want to take their shooting game to the next level. You can learn more over at Colt.com. Big news from First Person Defender. There's a new season launching, Season 14. And with it, we're launching a brand new YouTube channel dedicated entirely to FPD. We're kicking it off with the new season, our most intense and eye-opening season yet. Carjackings, home invasions, armed robberies. First Person Defender throws everyday people into real-world self-defense scenarios, and it's all captured on camera. Subscribe now at the First Person Defender YouTube channel. You can also find it on Facebook, on Roku, everywhere else that you're going to see our videos. Real people, real training, real reactions. This is First Person Defender like you've never seen it before. Hey guys, we've worked with a variety of night vision and thermal optics companies over the years, and one of the ones that we've got to play with lately in the last few years is Armasight. They're making really high quality, both thermal and night vision, and they've got all the different varieties of stuff, from a Sidekick 320 mini thermal monocular to a thermal clip-on, the Jockey 640 compact thermal clip-on, which you put in front of your regular day scope to turn it into a thermal. They've got their operator series of thermals that are weapon-mounted, very easy to use. The controls are easy to use, and the imaging is amazing. Super high quality, so you can really see what you're aiming at and make those hits. So go check them out, armasight.com. So going back to your story of walking into your house, and for whatever reason you're like, somebody could be in here, probably because you started moving about your house without turning on lights, because you can do that at your house, but then it's like, I probably should turn on the lights. I remember this story of Smith & Wesson when they were headquartered in Springfield, Massachusetts. They had the Smith & Wesson Academy or something like that, Smith & Wesson range up there that they did training for. And they did training for civilians. They did training for law enforcement. And one of the trainers that was there was also law enforcement. And he was telling me he went to this low light class, and it was like several days of low light, working with flashlights, on guns, handheld lights, all this stuff. And so they had this, I guess it was sort of a final test, and you're going to have to go, and you've been called out, and there's a report of a burglary at this warehouse, and you're going to have to work your way around and find bad guy and engage bad guy or whatever. So you start it by walking through this door. Okay, this is the entrance of the warehouse you've been called out to.
They guaranteed a bad guy in the house?
I think so.
Okay, so that makes it easier right off the bat.
But so
less surprise.
This is the low light course, right?
Yeah.
So he's got his gun, he's got his flashlight and all this stuff. And he opens the door, like pies it, appropriately. And he sees it's this big, huge, empty, dark room. And he reaches through the door, and he feels on the wall, and he feels a light switch, and he turns it on. And all the instructors are like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "What?"
The contingency. You got to have a contingency.
That's what I would do. I'm going to turn on the lights. They were pissed off, but they couldn't tell him he was wrong. It's like, well, okay, we've eliminated the low light part of this test now.
Well,
what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Clint Smith says that. You're like, well, it might be dark out there. He goes, if you're scared of the dark, get a nightlight. Turn on the lights in your house.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk around. That's a funny thing, like you see in movies and TV shows. Burglar breaks into the house. They hear, alarms going off, or you hear glass breaking, and they're always sitting in the dark. Do you want to have the dark? I mean, I guess in a way you could
darkness
argue,
could be my friend if he's coming for me. If he's
Yeah.
coming for me, the darkness of my friend. If I'm coming for him, I want the light on.
And you know where all the light switches are
I do.
in your own house.
It's funny. I love it all. Honestly, the other day I was out and it was dark, and I don't go out in the dark much because I have nowhere.
Yeah.
I have nowhere to go. I have no one to go out with. But I was coming home and it was dark, and I thought, how nice would it be if I had my flashlight in my pocket right now, because I have to traverse the yard from the shop where I park to the house. And could there not be someone laying in wait around a corner also?
Could be a Louisiana black bear.
Yeah, it could be a raccoon, a possum. It could be that cat I've been wanting to get rid of. But I can't do anything. I can't do anything without a flashlight.
Man, I tell you what, I usually have I'm not saying I'm a ninja, but I usually have a light, a knife, a gun, my wallet, my phone, all that stuff's in my pockets almost all the time.
Right.
It seems like I don't feel like I use my knife and my flashlight that often, but when I don't have it in my pocket,
you need it.
That's when you need it.
I know.
And it's like I don't need a flashlight. It's 11 a.m. and I'm going to be back at, in 2 hours.
And then you end up in a dark place.
Yeah.
It's like
or you're looking under a car for something or whatever it is. You're like, damn it.
It's like going to Costco. Okay. I do not go to Costco without an extra mag and a flashlight, because it's a huge building. And if somebody decided to just shut the lights off, boom, the lights go out. Everybody panics.
No windows.
There's no light. There's not going to be any ambient light. It's going to be darker than the inside of a cat. People are going to be nervous. They're going to be panicking. And, I'll just use my cell phone light. Yeah, because it lights up your menu. It lights up like the first foot and a half in front of your face.
The cell phone light, yeah, it's handy because it's a thing, but it has prevented so many people from carrying a light. And they're like, why would you carry a flashlight? I'm like, because my flashlight is 1,500 lumens and it'll light up something that's 50 yards away.
You got one of those too?
Yeah.
That's the Surefire Pro X or X Pro. Yeah.
Well, I've got the regular one, and then I've got the big daddy one.
The double bezel, yeah.
I kind of bring the big daddy one for certain things.
When I use that thing, when I go, hey, I'm parked right over there, boom, boom, and I flash it, people are like, holy crap, man. Like everything in the parking lot glows, and you spotlight your truck.
Yeah.
And they're like, what kind of light is that? I'm like, Surefire.
Yeah. Stiletto Pro.
The Stiletto,
yeah.
The Pro, the big
the
Pro.
Super Pro. It's got 2 beams.
It does. I mean, literally
Double barrel.
And then in Louisiana, it cuts through. Yeah, I give them both barrels. It cuts through the fog, the mist, the heavy air, because technically you're in a cloud.
Yeah,
I mean,
all
because
the
that's what
time
moisture vapor is in the air.
Yeah, we live in a cloud here.
Sometimes, yeah.
90% humidity.
And it's powerful. And I mean, even on my four-wheeler, I'll be driving out to go hog hunting or something, and I'm looking across the field, and my headlights light up so much. But I can stick my flashlight out the side, and boom, I can see all the way across the field.
Your headlights light up what's in front of you,
And
but the headlights don't turn.
my stiletto lights up. Yes, they don't. But my stiletto lights up everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Game changer. What about, I'm going to throw you kind of a curveball here, because we do a lot of gun stuff. After all, this is called Gun Talk. But what do you think about pepper spray or some type of spray like that?
I love it. Matter of fact, you just got us all new pepper sprays for our personal use, and we all appreciate it. I don't know what anybody else is doing with theirs, but I have mine in the center console of my truck where I can get my hand on it, because honestly, I can stick it in my pocket when I walk into somewhere, especially if I have to leave my gun behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also use it if somebody approaches my truck, and listen, you walk up to my window, I'm not going to point a gun at you. I might have my hand on a gun, and I might have a gun readily accessible, but my best bet probably is just going to be that pepper spray, because if you just get irate and you start banging on my truck, I'm not going to shoot you. And if I can't drive off, I mean, literally, like, okay, so drive off.
Just drive away.
That's a great idea. But sometimes you ever pull up in traffic and you don't leave that comfort zone? Because today, if you leave any kind of room, someone's going to honk horn at you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I use it. Pepper spray is great. I've sprayed a lot of people. It doesn't always work, but it definitely, it works when it works.
So, I mean, because I don't think I'm assuming a lot of the spraying people is because when you were a cop.
Yeah.
Not just for funsies.
Yeah, not for fun.
But I mean, you said it doesn't always work. How so?
Yeah, a lot of people, some people it just doesn't affect. Depends on how cranked up they are. But hey, at least it lets you know what you're dealing with.
Sure.
Because
that's a clue.
Quite often what we determine to be excessive force is too little force repeatedly applied. We don't hit people hard enough, fast enough, and we play patty cake, and then it ends up with cat scratches and bruises, or somebody falls down
and escalates.
breaks an eye socket instead of just punching them in the jaw and knocking them out the first time. So, those are all things to think about. Like, so, if you're there are no half measures when it comes time to use force. Like when you're going to use pepper spray, use it all. Use the whole freaking can.
That's a good point. I wonder if anybody ever talks about that. Like, because we see it with the gun stuff when they show. They'll shoot once.
And expect something to happen.
And they'll go, okay. I mean, I shot him that one time. Like, same idea with pepper spray. Like, if you're going to start spraying somebody in the face with pepper spray, just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the little cans that we have, you might as well just hose them down and then smash it on their forehead if they keep coming.
Yeah.
It's been done. But, but like, it takes me back to the time Roseanne, when she was working with Crimson Trace, and a lot of people think that lasers are a deterrent.
Not the comedian.
No, not Roseanne the comedian. Roseanne the Dana. But anyways, Roseanne thought, gosh, I thought if I just pointed the laser at him and put it on him, that he would stop, and he didn't stop coming, and she finally had to shoot, and she just wasn't ready to shoot.
I forgot about that, because they do talk about lasers as a de-escalation or deterrent, and it might be.
They are. I've seen them work.
I mean, it's possible, but it's not a guarantee.
No, it's not a guarantee.
You're relying on them to choose to stop coming.
It's no different than saying, hey, if you don't stop right there, I'm going to kick your ass.
Maybe they will.
And not be ready to kick their ass.
Right. Yeah.
Because if they say, oh, yeah, well, here I come, be ready.
Yeah. I've been waiting for someone to fight all day.
Yeah. I just ran out of bubble gum. And here I come. I mean, honestly, they are all threats. They're all threats of force. Threats of force are fine. Just like having a gun and pointing it at the ground and saying, back off.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they don't back off? At some point, you have to have that line in the sand, which we cover in First Person Offender.
Yeah.
When we talk about...
Is that the show we're talking about they should watch?
Yeah, first-person offender. We talk about all these things because we try to take your mind places it hasn't been. You got to draw a line in the sand. We did it with the Colt girls, and it was Zoe and
Sarah.
Sarah, correct.
Yep.
It's so hard to think of names when you're talking about everything else. And we talked about, hey, you got to have a line in the sand. This is the line. If this person comes any closer than this, you've got to be prepared to take action, because especially if you have a gun in your hand and someone keeps coming forward.
That's a real clue.
Yeah, that's a real clue, because they are not even afraid of getting shot, which means they are going to take your gun. They are going to use it against you. They're going to jam it squarely up your ass. All that stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
All the bad, the worst of the worst is going to happen. So you really can't you can't make threats that you're not willing to back up.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the other point. And we don't give people a lot of options. Just so you all know, if you watch FPD, it's like every time somebody gets shot. Well, it's a lot more fun when the guns are going off and there's a gunfight.
It is a show.
And we don't, yeah, it's still a TV show. I mean, we lay it out, we set the parameters, we force stuff to happen, which is fun. But you also, the best course of action is just to get away.
Of course.
Just to leave. Because that's what, Ryan, you'll say that a lot. You'll be like, well, what if he just gets up and leaves? We're like, okay, we got that covered. Don't worry. Or sometimes we don't have it covered and we're like, oh, yeah, I guess he could just get up and walk out this door.
It's amazing to me how our good guys don't seem to think about that often.
We talk about it.
Unless they're the ones who we know are really, really trying to not get involved, and then we'll force the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Neil was kind of that way. Neil's like, hey, I'm really not going to get involved. I mean,
right.
That was his strategy. He had the skills. He carries. He has the skills. He can draw. He can shoot. He can hit the target and all that stuff. But he was like really thoughtful, because obviously active self-protection, those guys, they cover this so much. It's like, man, you could have, this was avoidable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably something that everybody needs to challenge themselves on, because if you were to get into a shooting, that's a question that some DA prosecutor is going to say, was this avoidable?
Did this have to happen?
Did this have to happen? Couldn't you have just kept driving? Couldn't you have just gotten your car? Couldn't you have just locked your door? Couldn't you have just let the guy steal your CD player? Why did you shoot him 6 times?
One of our guys just had an incident a couple weeks ago. A little road rage thing happened, and he's on his way in. He's coming here. Guy cuts him off. They flick each other off. This guy, the cutter offer, not our guy, actually pulls over, gets in front of him, pulls over, and our guy decides in infinite wisdom to pull over behind him.
Smart.
See, at which point I would have driven past him and waved and been like, sorry, man, not today. And our guy didn't even have a gun on him, but this guy shows him a gun, brandishes a gun, lifts up his shirt, shows him a gun.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's like, and he challenges him still. Yeah, come on. Let's do, heated. When you get heated, you're an idiot. You cannot lose control. I know it's.
Well, they say that all the time. That's with being a cop. That's with being a parent. That's just being out there. If you get angry, now you've lost control. And you're not thinking clearly about it.
Yeah, and I've done that with friends and stuff. I've done it with girlfriends that argue with me, and I lose my cool, and finally I'll just say something, vile, and I shouldn't. And but you get to a point where you're bush, and then everybody, if you're half a smart person, if you're half a decent person, when you get home and you put your head on that pillow, you think to yourself, man, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
If I could have paused, if I could have stepped back, walk away, whatever that may be.
Right, but we're dumb. Sometimes we're just dumb.
I think that's also, you talk about doing the mindset thing of like, well, I'm going to walk in this room. I'm not going to be a victim. Don't be surprised. Be ready to pounce and fight back. What about the counter, or the other way to look at this is when somebody flips me off, calls me a F and P or whatever. Let's think about it now while we're calm, right? Think about it, how you're going to wave and give the peace sign and say,
peace out, I'm on my way.
God bless you. Instead of just reacting and saying, now I'm just mad.
Right. I know. So it's all important, but that's what we do with first person offender. we train others, we train ourselves, and it's going to be a good season. I love the new YouTube channel. I love the stuff we've got up, everything. We've been working on it, trying to make it look nice, feel nice. I think it's fantastic. I hope everybody's looking at it because
it's a brand new channel, guys. So when you go there, you might say, there's like 3 videos here. Yeah. And we're launching more videos each week. We're going to put more stuff up. So just go over there, check it out. Obviously, you can see it other places where you can see Gun Talk content, but new first-person Fender YouTube channel. Obviously, we're trying to promote that. We want more people to go check it out and trying to grow that. So thanks, man.
Yeah, this is great. I'm glad we could talk about it. I'm glad we could talk about some things maybe people haven't thought about. It's all important.
Yep, it is. So thanks for watching. Go check out that. Like us, subscribe us, ring our bell. I don't know how this all works. Something like that.
The bell.
Yeah. Ring the bell. If you know what I'm talking about, thank God, because I don't.
Yeah, because once you ring the bell, you can't unring it.
I don't think that's how that works. It's okay, though. Yeah. That's it for us. We'll see you next time.